first thing we need to do is thank our cafeteria ladies and Mrs. Prince and all these parents for providing this for us. Can you do that, please? Owensboro High School. I emailed Miss Prince this morning and said, I really don't want to talk today because I'm afraid I'll get emotional. She didn't get my email, so I'm on the agenda, so I'm going to welcome us today. I want to thank you for a great year, very special year. We've had lots and lots of success in the arts, in athletics, in academics, and this has been a very, very special class. And I will thank you very much for the senior gift that you all have bestowed upon me in the preparation of a class for our special needs population for independent living. You have no idea what that means to me and what I'll take from that, and hopefully I'll be able to come back and work in that a little bit in future times, okay? So thank you very, very much. I want to tell you that you're very special to me. You're good people, what I call good people, and you understand what it means to be compassionate, hardworking, and you're good to each other. You have learned over the years in the Owensboro Public Schools to be tolerant of people that's like you and that's different from you. Look around at how different we are, but how special we are to each other. Don't lose that as you move into your adult life. It's a very, very important gift. I cannot tell you how much you will treasure that in later times in your life. Remember what you've learned. Remember to be good people and be good to each other and be good to your fellow man. No matter how bad you have it in your life, I promise you, the person sitting beside you may be in a tougher boat. So always, always be kind, respectful, and compassionate no matter where you are and what. Can you do that for me? Yeah. Can you do that for me? I'm very proud of this class. I'm very proud of who you are as individuals. Now at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Prince. And if you don't do this before you leave Owensboro High School, you take it. You caused it not to work. Okay. You need to thank Miss Prince and give her a huge hug because she's about worked herself to death for you all. So you do that, okay?
Okay, so first of all, the first thing I want to say is thank you guys all for showing up. It's great to see you guys one last time before we all graduate. Second of all, I want to just take a moment. Can we get a round of applause for Miss Burnett? We have been so very lucky to have such an incredible principal for the last 13 years, and with her retirement, I can't think of a better class to go out with her because, I mean, like, we're pretty awesome, right? So, with that being said, we have a little something from the senior class to give her as a small part of our gift for her dedication and service. We have this really cool photo collage that Miss Amy Pryor helped make.
Miss Pryor?
Yeah, okay. And it's just a collage of pictures
from when she worked here. So also, I wanted to take this moment.
I wanted to take this second, take a second to fill you guys in on what Miss Burnett was just talking
About her retirement gift.
Just yell it.
forward about her retirement gift. This year, instead of spending money on our class T-shirts that are for sale up here, by the way, if anybody wants one, we got a couple left.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. We decided
To spend that money on dedicating Miss Harper and Miss Walters' classrooms.
completely renovating them and dedicating it in honor of Miss Burnett for her years of service. For those of you that don't know, her career started off in the special education department. We couldn't think of a better way to recognize her for her service and dedication to our school than by helping to better the students that she has helped so much in her career and has benefited so greatly. So I just want to let you guys know that we are taking donations for that. If any of you guys feel it in your heart to donate, every dollar counts. So we greatly appreciate that. And all right, so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Prince. Thank you guys for coming.
Need for our class officers to stand up. This group of class officers, a special group that you elected, they've been so helpful this year. They're the ones that picked out your graduation announcements. They're the ones that they're my go-to people for you all. They are your voice, and they've done a great job. And our class president is Joseph Hunt. Our vice president is Kate Sook. You're the vice president, right? They all work together. It's hard for me to remember who's who. We have a tie between vice president, right? Treasurer, tie between treasurer is Kaylee Webb and Brooke Bedingfield, and then Will is our secretary. So congratulate them, please. Okay, and also, I was going to introduce our guest speaker this morning, but one of his classmates is here. There's just no way that I could do it justice. So I'm going to bring up David Kirk, who most of you already know. He works with us for our central office and all our technology, but I'm going to let him introduce our guest speaker.
No applause or anything? It's always special we can bring back somebody that's gone through the system here at Owensboro Public Schools. And Pete Jones is one of those guys, or shall I say Dr. Pete Jones. He just graduated with his, well, you've been in school forever, what, doctorate of what? Public administration.
I did all this homework.
She did. Pete is a 2005 graduate of Owensboro High School. He played on the baseball team, student council. He was also the vice president of the senior class, as well as salutatorian. He then went on to the University of Kentucky and majored in journalism. For all you people interested in that, I think there's a senior class member that is really interested in journalism, just won a big award, right? She here? Madeline Story, congratulations to you. In 2013, he graduated with his degree in public policy, got his master's. And then in 2015, just a couple days ago, he got his doctorate in public administration. So without further ado, brother of Paige Hicks and grandson of Jack Hicks, who of course we celebrated earlier this year, Dr. Pete Jones.
All right, so I've learned not to deal with the mic. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. All right, good. Thank you for that one person back there. So I've learned from my sister that nothing is officially in print or on actually happens unless it happens on social media. So I need to go ahead and take a quick selfie that this occurs. There we go. Now when you hold up, it helps you not have double chin. So that's the first lesson I can give you today. So thank you for letting me do that. I can't express to you how excited I am to be here. The first thing I get to do is celebrate with you all, celebrate the fact that you're graduating, and that is very, very exciting. The second thing that I get to do is stand in front of you and talk to you, and that always makes Miss Burnett very nervous. And that's very exciting to me because I haven't been able to do that for so long. So thank you for having me. I've never given a senior breakfast speech before. She's told me what I can and can't say, so I'll try not to do some of those things. So I have no idea how this is going to turn out. If you can, do me a favor, make sure your cell phones are turned on. If you're allowed to have them, I have no idea, because I want you to live tweet this, Snapchat, Instagram, make sure that you catch all the good stuff if you can, okay? Again, if you're not allowed to do that, don't do it. That was something she told me not to say. So what I'm going to go over today is 3 secrets that I've learned since graduating high school and I'm going to go ahead and give them to you. Now, it's not like I'm revealing some big thing, like who died on Game of Thrones last night, or how Mad Men ended, or maybe you don't watch those things, or some other show that you all watch that old people don't watch. But these 3 secrets involve the following. First one is how your teachers are going to change once you graduate. The second one is the secrets to avoiding a bad senior prank, not how to do one, Ms. Burnett. I can't tell you how to do it, just how to avoid doing a bad one. And then the third and probably most important one is what happens when you actually receive that diploma. So on to the first secret. Since you're seniors, your teachers will soon become former teachers. And when this happens, they turn into real people, real human beings. They somehow transform from these mutant information givers into really, that was good, tweet that. That was good, he liked that one. Into really cool human beings. Interesting human, maybe not cool, but interesting human beings, to say the least. After you graduate, you're going to run into them from time to time, and you're going to begin to learn some of the things about them as people, and you'll learn more about kind of outside the classroom, not the robot homework giving people they were when you knew them here. So I'm going to share a few little known facts about some of the teachers you've had, so you can get a head start. You all know Mr. Harper. Mr. Harper was actually valedictorian of his senior class, which makes sense given the size of his head. He actually has the largest head, the second largest head in the state of Kentucky. If it wasn't for some guy in Paducah, he would have the biggest head. Now, you know his wife, Miss Harper, and her sister, Miss Cavett, right? Okay. They were actually the only 2 sisters in Owensboro High School history to be Daisy May. You also do Daisy May, whatever it's called? Okay. Little do most people know, though, that they were only the second and third most attractive Daisy Mays in their family. Their older brother, Getty Cavett, would have been the most attractive Daisy May, but he wasn't allowed to do it at the time, okay? An interesting fact about Getty is he's actually do you all know Mr. Cavett, Getty Cavett? He's on a NASCAR pit crew. I'm sure they talk about their brother. They're very excited about him all the time. He's one of the only NASCAR pit crew members that doesn't have to wear those big earphones because he lived with them their entire lives, and he can't hear anything after all the arguing that they do and how loud they are. Mr. Norris is here, Coach Norris. Jiminy, whatever. He was my baseball coach for 4 years. I actually found out recently, and I was very shocked to hear this, that he's actually 80 years old. He was supposed to retire 25 years ago. There was a glitch in the system and he had to keep working. Luckily, he's able to retire this year. But it really wasn't a big deal that he worked these extra 25 years because he didn't have anything better to do and he really likes teaching. Teaching is his passion. Mr. Moore, Mark Moore, do you all know him? He actually played football at DePaul University. There's no joke with that. I'm just shocked that a person of his height was able to play college football. Mr. McCollum, very few people know this. I'm actually one of the very only people who know this. He actually rap battled Kanye West. Okay, back before Kanye got big. He lost the battle on a technicality, though, the fact that Mr. McCollum is a white dude. Coach Prince was here earlier. I'm not sure if he is now. He scares the living daylights out of me, so I'm not going to tell you anything about him. Miss Fogel's here. Fogel? She was by far one of the sweetest teachers that I've ever had, so I shouldn't go there either, but I'm going to. She played college soccer. Did you all know that? She actually holds the NCAA record for most red cards. And actually went after a goalie by taking off her cleat and going after the goalie, which was, the goalie was 6'3" from Poland, right? So that was the only shot you had. Coach Johnson, baseball coach. I got to play baseball with him. He played professionally, played at University of Louisville before that. Actually, this is serious. I'm not making this one up. Holds the record for most hit by pitches, right? Also took off his cleat and went after a pitcher, so that's what he shares in common with Miss Fogel. Did you all have Miss Kingsley? She sub all the time, yeah? Okay, not a lot of people know this one, so this is a big, you can't tell her I said this either because she'll come after me. She's a professional copy editor. So a lot of the books that you see at Books A Million, she edited those. And she actually got paid to edit 50 Shades of Grey. And from what I hear, did a lot more adding than cutting, but that's the rumor. I'm gonna end here with one of my favorite teachers, although I never got to have him, Mr. Russellberg. And Mr. Russellberg and I graduated from high school together. We grew up as chubby kids. We were chubby kids. We actually had U.S. history together. We would study together because I wanted to make sure he knew everything because I planned on cheating off of him on the test. It didn't work out though because he's the slowest test taker ever. So I couldn't actually. By the time he was done with the test, we had to turn him in. I couldn't do it. And I'll be honest with you, he has more dirt on me than maybe any other person. So I'm going to be very careful with this. So it's not really going to be that funny. But did you know that they had to chemically make a new sunscreen for him? Because he puts on sunscreen when he's walking around the house if the windows are open. I mean, this is how. So they had to literally make a new sunscreen for Mr. Russellberg. All right, so there you have it. Those are the little known facts. I hope you get to know many of these teachers outside of the classroom. They're wonderful human beings. Take some time these last few days to stop by, thank them. They're never going to stop teaching you valuable lessons, and they deserve all the credit you get. Okay? Secret number 2. I'm told you already pulled off a senior prank. You came to the parking lot. I've been told that I can't tell you how to do a good senior prank. To be honest with you, you shouldn't listen to me because I'm terrible at pulling off senior pranks. So I'm going to tell you some lessons on what not to do, mainly because I like getting that look from Miss Burnett of when she's just thinking, don't go on with this. But I've screwed up with a lot of things. One of them was doing our senior prank. So here's the 4 lessons I have for you if you think you want to do another senior prank, but don't. All right, but if you're going to do it, lesson number 1, tell no one of your plan, okay? Even if you have a group of people, don't talk to those people. Don't collaborate at all. Because once you start telling other people, it's going to explode. Our senior prank was throwing water balloons off of Rash Stadium, and we started with about 7 or 8 people. By the end of the day, we had 30 people. Now, I don't know how you plan a senior prank by talking to no one, but I can't tell you that because I'm just telling you what not to do. So again, we started with 7 or 8, we ended with 30. The more people that know, the more likely it's going to get leaked. Lesson number 2, don't expect plan A to work, so have a plan B. So our plan was to sneak onto Rash Stadium from a house on McCreary. All right, so we knew a girl that lived there. We had all of our water balloons there. I climbed up on the fence to see if the coast was clear, and I looked up at the far corner of Rash Stadium, and I saw Miss Brown. And initially I'm thinking, oh, we're done. But I'm thinking maybe she's going to leave soon. As I'm coming down the Rash Stadium, I'm coming down, I lock eyes with Mr. Troglin. Do you all remember Mr. Troglin? There's two things you need to know about Mr. Troglin. He has very beautiful daughters, very intelligent daughters, and he loves to hunt. He's got deer heads in his basement, and he also has ex-boyfriend heads mounted in his basement. And you know how deer heads are very stoic? It's like they were proud to be shot. The boyfriend heads are just have a look of sheer terror, okay? So I lock eyes with Mr. Troglin, and I get this fear of death in me, and I just fall off the fence. Just hit the ground, and I'm running. We get in our cars, and we decide that we're going to try to throw water balloons just out our cars. Now, this leads to lesson number 3. If you're going to do this, do not be seen. So I'm riding in front of school. We've got our super soakers out. We've got our water balloons out. And as I'm rolling past, I lock eyes with Miss Burnett. And I know I'm done, right? It's just this, yeah, that look there, like I'm done for. Now, here's where I learned, though, that if you weren't seen, you won't get caught, because my friend Steve Nash, not the pro basketball player, I'd love to be friends with him, although our friend Steve Nash is a great athlete, he'll tell you. When you graduate from high school, you just keep telling people you're a great athlete. They'll never check. I was all-state and everything, okay? He was wearing a mask, so he didn't get caught. But, again, you're not doing a senior prank, but if you do, don't be seen. And lesson number 4, don't ever think you'll get away with it because they're way more smarter than we ever would have been. So we ended up having to paint Rash Stadium. We made the paper, and our failed senior prank was kind of the talk about town for 5 to 6 minutes, which was great. All right, so final secret. So I want to share what happens with you, or when you walk across that stage Friday night, because I didn't realize this 10 years ago, but you've heard about Owensboro High School's tradition of excellence. And it probably hasn't hit you yet what this means, so I'm going to do my best to tell you so you don't have to spend these next few years figuring it out. So this is that third secret. But before I begin this secret, before I share it, I want you to think for a second all the forces and influences that have made you who you are. The good parts of you, the bad parts of you, I want you to think about it all. So think about your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles, and all those family members who raised you. They gave you a sense of right and wrong. They gave you your laugh. And for some of you, they gave you that horribly big nose. I was one of those that got the horribly big nose from my family. It's not great. There were your friends that helped to mold you, right? These are the people who were there for you when your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend broke up. These were the people that talked you into hosting a party your sophomore year even though you really didn't want to. Exactly. They're the people that helped you pull together the project the last time. They've been some of the best and some of the worst influences you could imagine. Then there are the teachers and staff here at OHS. They stayed after to help you learn the difference between electrons and protons or whatever it is. You can tell I didn't pursue any science degree. They failed you on that quiz over the Scarlet Letter, even though you totally read Cliff Notes, whatever it is, whatever website it is now, or you watched the movie, but you still failed that quiz. They pushed you to be better and passed you with a B even though you deserved that C. They taught you more than how to find just the length of a hypotenuse, which I don't think I've used since then. But they taught you self-respect, time management, a work ethic, and what it means to care about other people. And then there was your guidance counselor, Ms. Prince, who battled 235 other senior guidance counselors to convince the world, and Kentucky specifically, that you were special. She had her work cut out for her. And finally, there was Ms. Burnett. She got to school early and somehow made it to all the sporting events. She scolded you when you made bad decisions, and she stopped you from making the really, really bad decisions. And she took up for you. Well, she took up for me a lot of times because I needed it. But she took up for you even when you didn't realize it. And time again, she went to bat for you because she knows how good you are and how good you're going to be. So you can picture all of these people, right? You picture them molding you. You picture the experiences, opportunities. And now I want you to picture one more thing. And this is that secret I was getting to because you were wondering when I was going to get back to that, right? So this is the third secret. Picture a thread weaving all those people together. That thread is the tradition of excellence. And that tradition of excellence is part of all of those people. And so when you walk across that stage, you picture that thread, and you're going to make the final stitch with that thread on Friday night. And now you're going to have the tradition of excellence in you. And after you receive that diploma, it will now be your job to help future generations by making that tradition better. So I'm going to use a literary technique now. It's called an extended metaphor. I'm sure you all learned about this and totally nailed it on end of course exams, right? You got dope? Okay. Then this is your lesson. What I want you to think about, and I'm really using this, I was hoping Ms. Kingsley would be here so that she would smile and realize that maybe one student learned one thing over her career. So, in this extended metaphor, think of our tradition of excellence as a building. In fact, think of it as a school building. And this building is special because it's small enough to fit inside each of us, but it's large enough to hold every OHS student who's ever graduated from OHS or whoever will graduate from OHS. It's also special because it's been under construction since day one, since Owensboro High School opened up its doors. It is constantly being improved, tweaked, remodeled, renovated, and expanded. You guys see it? I'm not making you close your eyes, but you're picturing this building, right? So here's the secret. When you cross that stage on Friday night, you become one of the builders of that incredible building. You begin your job of building the tradition of excellence. They'll give you a diploma. I don't know, do they give diplomas? Okay, so you actually get diplomas. If you go to college, you don't really get diplomas. They keep it from you for this time. I'm not sure why. So you'll get a diploma, and it shouldn't feel as heavy as it does, but it will, because you've got those tools inside it that will help you in building this tradition. Builders, tools, building. This extended metaphor is it's coming together. I'm really upset Miss Kingsley isn't here. I would have gotten at least a B on this paper. So, now the sad part is you don't have a choice in the matter. As you cross the stage, you drop the title of student, and you pick up your hammer and nails and you get to work. You'll go off to college or technical school. You'll take the summer to find yourself, or you'll begin your career. But whatever you do, you will be building on the tradition of excellence. And even if you head to the West Coast or to another country, the building goes with you, because it can stay inside. It can be both small and large in this extended metaphor. And people will notice that you stand a little taller or act a little differently because you've got this tradition inside you. That's a nice extended metaphor, but what does it mean practically for you? It means that you understand deep-seated values of community and family. We talk a lot about that OHS family. You understand that we must work towards a common good and serving others, just like you did on your senior service project. It means that you're proud of the things you do, not because of some self-involved pride you feel from a job well done, but instead you do them because you want to make your family, friends, teachers, and others around you proud. You want to show off to all these people that I talked about earlier, all those people that molded you, that you can do something that doesn't just improve your situation, but the situation of others around you, of others in the community. You want to show them that their hard work, all the hard work they put into molding you, that helped create a wonderful person, a valued citizen, a devoted family member, a red devil. So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Your job as a builder is going to be one of the toughest that you undertake in your life. You're going to stumble. I've stumbled. My classmates have stumbled. We've had a few of us end up in jail, a few of us not end up in the best places. But those who stumbled got up. They paved a sidewalk where they fell down, and they built a better sidewalk there so that the next people didn't stumble where they did. You two are going to do the same, because at OHS you learned resilience, and like my classmates, you two are going to rise from that mud and dirt of all the troubles and return to the building to keep working. And you're going to do this quicker than any eagle, panther, or ace, because you're a red devil and you've got the OHS family behind you. Now, I can't stress how important it is that you guys are our new class of builders. And I'm going to talk about two reasons. The first is you've got some unique skills. And I promise I'm actually being serious. Some people will say you have skills and that doesn't mean anything. But you have some unique skills that those of us who graduated 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 50 years ago, like Mr. Norris, we don't grasp what the world has become. You have mastered Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, or whatever new social media I'm not aware of because I'm 27 years old. You understand how dangerous these tools are, how they work for bullies, how they can embolden terrorists, but you also understand how they can spread love and joy and how they can bring the community together. They can work for a common cause and a common good. So if I can go back to that building metaphor, you guys get to put in the Wi-Fi of this building. Make sure you make a password that's old person friendly, because we have trouble with that. You may just have to set it up for us. You get to make our building eco-friendly. You get to knock down a few walls to make those halls more open to those who have been discriminated against, not just because of race or religion, but because of sexual or gender preference. This is your challenge, and you know better than anyone else how to put hammer to nail or finger to phone screen or whatever you do. The second reason is that the OHS family, our community of builders, has lost a few important members this past year. Former basketball coach Adrian Hayes and former baseball coach, my grandfather Jack Hicks, passed away. But throughout their lives, these men gave time and talents to countless young students. They labored on the hardwood and dirt. In fact, Adrian coached Coach Drake, who has since become a builder and done a really good decorating job in the gym, right? He just put up a new banner, state championship. You should be a little bit more excited to that. You see, these great builders that I just talked about have provided you an incredible foundation, and now it's your turn to improve on what they've done. Some of our builders are taking different roles. Miss Prince is heading east, wherever she is. Where'd you go? Okay, Miss Prince is heading east. I know she's going to bleed red and black, but she's been invaluable to all of you and hundreds that have come before you. So join me in applauding her. Then there's the architect. Oh man, this extended metaphor keeps you guys have to tell Miss Kingsley. Okay? All right. The architect, Miss Burnett. She inherited her role from the likes of Bill Van Winkle and Larry Moore. But I say without reservation that she has taken on her position as principal with a passion and dedication, a ferocity and grace that no other principal has had before. She is your and mine and our Queen Bey, and she woke up like this. She has the amazing ability to look after a whole flock of students while making each of us feel appreciated and cared for. So, Ms. Burnett, thank you for making sure our tradition of excellence has grown over as your tenure as principal. It remains solid and sturdy, and future generations will continue in the success you've built. But most importantly, thank you for loving and caring each of us. I like to sweat when I do these things. Before you cross that stage on Friday night, I want you to thank those who have been building the tradition of excellence for you. You didn't deserve their hard work, but they gave blood and sweat to make sure that you too get to be a part of this great building. So go home today and find your parents if they went to OHS and thank them for being a builder. Thank them for giving you the opportunity to become a part of this tradition. Find your neighbors, your friends, your teachers. Find strangers and ask them if they went to OHS. And if they did, thank them and tell them how excited you are to join as a builder in building this tradition. Then I want you to go to your little brother or your little sister. And if they go to an Owensboro public school, if they go to Estes or Sutton or 5-6 or 7-8 or whatever it is now, I want you to tell them that you're going to be a builder and you're going to make the tradition of excellence better for them when they cross that stage, whenever it may be. And if your brother or sister is like mine, he or she may give you this strange look, and they may even say, "Oh crap," because they've been tortured by you and they've seen your bedroom, they know how messy it is, and they just have no faith in you that you're going to be a builder. But you let them know anyway. You let them know how excited you are. I'm coming Friday. I have to. I'm obligated because I have a little sister that's graduating. I might come up to you and ask, did you tell people you're becoming a builder? Did you tell them how excited you are? So you better do it. Okay, good luck, class of 2015. I want to be the first to welcome you as a fellow builder. I'm proud to have you work alongside me as we continue to build this tradition of excellence that houses the greatest and biggest family you will ever be a part of, the Owensboro High School family. Thank you.